What's up everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be a workout Q&A type video. So we're starting off with our very first question, favorite and or go-to TL sups. So because we're about to work out, I figured I'd just take you through like my pre-workout stack. So we have stim free because that's my preference because it's a little bit later in the day. And they're doing creatine. We're doing orange flavor, which like honestly, if you like, not orange crush, but like somewhere between that and like orange juice, like this is what it tastes like. And I meant to order tropical punch because that's my favorite, but then I opened it up and it was orange. And now it's my top, so. And then I get unflavored creatine. Transparent Labs is actually one of the few brands that has flavored creatine. And I do sometimes do that one, but for the most part, unflavored is just easier to put in my drinks. So these are my two go-to for my like pre-workout stuff. And then in terms of other supplements I have, I did a recent reel on my Instagram that kind of like went through my morning routine. So that had, again, my creatine, my greens, and my multivitamin, my ashwaganda from them. And then evening-wise, I just take magnesium. So those are like my overall supplements that I use from them. And in terms of prep, little update, we are 4 weeks out from our first show of the season, which is absolutely terrifying. You guys know that I typically work out with Sylv on average, maybe once or twice a month. And so the rest of the time, my workouts kind of like look what they're gonna look like today, which is just usually me by myself. Occasionally I work out with my friends, but most of the time I'm a solo girly, so we'll hop right into it. So typically my warm up, we would normally warm up, but like we just came from filming reels at Monkey Vault, so I'm pretty warm, so we don't need to do that. First things first, we're doing a wide grip lat pull down, supersetted with banded rear delt rows, I would call them. Start with a plate on each. In terms of workouts, I do 2 back and shoulder days. This one is more primarily back based, and the other quote unquote back and shoulder day is like 1 back exercise and the rest is heavily shoulders. So that's kind of what my 2 upper body days look like. And then my 3rd upper body day is a chest and arms. I do a full leg day and I do a hamstrings and bench day. Jody adds that in because she knows that I really like to bench, so she lets me bench an extra day. And then I have a full rest day and then kind of like an active rest day. So that's what my current split looks like. So I know that was one of the questions in my Q&A was what is my current split? Wide grip first. We're going for like, this first set is kind of like a pump up set, pretty much, kind of like more of a warm up. Oh, that's a heavy warm up. All right. It's very heavy. One sec, I gotta, short people problems. Okay. Oh, that's gonna be way too heavy for a warm up set. Wow, humbled. I don't know what I was thinking. We're taking one off. Ow! Ah. Hit my knee. And these ones look like they're really easy. I can promise you they're not. They get pretty spicy. So basically, wow, words are freaking hard. I'm stretching the band out and then like rowing to about like my sternum. And then you wanna keep tension on the band the entire time. I did these with Jody when I worked with her in her garage gym. And again, they look like they should be so easy, but it's the little tiny muscles that make this not so easy. Also, I switched to being a Garmin girly. Never going back to Apple. I love my Garmin watch so much because it doesn't die. Like I haven't charged this thing in like 4 or 5 days and I extensively use this watch for literally everything. If you're ever thinking of switching to Garmin, this is your sign. We have 2 sets of 12 to 15 reps at moderate weight, which is why it's a lightweight. And then we'll do 2-3 working sets of 10 to 12 heavy reps. So that's when I'll kind of like add a few. And then for me, I have to do a lot of rest pause stuff to get my heart rate up because that's what Jody and I figured out kind of like works for me. Because for some reason, I just fatigue and my muscles stop working. But I can still technically do more. So that's why I like rest pause and I can pump out usually anywhere between 2 to 4 reps depending on what the exercise is and depending on how far into the program it is. So that's kind of like where I struggle with like my current workout stuff is keeping my heart rate high and elevated. But that's kind of like the style that we've adapted for me. We're gonna rest pause that because that's not coming down to my chest anymore. 3 more. So as I do those, I'm trying to think of all the cues that both Jody and Sylv have told me. So like making sure when I'm going up, I'm getting a full stretch. Also when I'm coming down, I'm flexing really hard. I'm also imagining every single time I'm doing these kind of things is like make it practical to like what I'm actually gonna be using obviously all this stuff for, which is gonna be like showing off in my posing. And so imagining I'm hitting like my lat spread as I'm doing my lat pull downs. Here I'm keeping a tight tummy so that way I can like always maintain a tight core as I'm like on stage and posing and stuff. At this point, how do you compare this year's prep to last year's? This year's prep is a lot harder. For different reasons. I actually do want to do a whole sit down video with Dal of me going through kind of like all my emotions and stuff with this prep. But this one has been, I would say, harder in every aspect, both like physically, emotionally, mentally, just everything has been harder. I think last year I went into it very much not really knowing what to expect. And so everything was kind of a surprise. This year I know what to expect. And then there's like even more added pressure, which is I think kind of like my entire prep, I would say I haven't ever felt confident in like, oh my gosh, like I feel like I'm on track, or oh my gosh, I feel like I'm gonna show up and be really good. This entire year has just felt kind of like I'm not good enough, I'm gonna be a disappointment. Whereas last year I didn't really have that because there was no people to disappoint because no one really knew what I was capable of and like what kind of routine I would bring. So this year definitely has been emotional. I've cried a lot this prep, but other than that, I would say I'm still enjoying it. It's just been a lot harder, but that's all part of the business, part of the journey. We're doing barbell bent over rows, rest pause, 10-5-3. Awesome. Love. Can't wait. 10-5-3 basically means I'm picking a weight that's challenging for 10 reps and then I'm resting, doing 5 reps and then resting, and then 3 reps and then resting. It doesn't necessarily have to be every single time 10-5-3. It's like as close to those numbers as possible, but I should be working at a weight that gets me fatigued and like close to failure each time. So what that will be today, we're about to find out. Typically when I do it, I do 95. Let's see if that's a thing today. Let's pick our barbell. There's so many options. If I was a barbell, which one would I want? I feel like I'm on a merry-go-round. I like this one, because this one's really tall. Anyways. Oh my God. Imagine. Sorry guys, hurt myself because I got a barbell out. Now if I put weights on the barbell like that, I always think of those like really dramatic Instagram videos where people are super intense and they make it seem like this is like so intense when it's like not that intense. I just hate bent over rows, to be honest. It's like I feel like I can do more, but at the same time, I don't want to compromise my form. So I am going to stay here today. We're not pushing for PRs, ladies and gentlemen. We're pushing for just good form, good reps. I would rather do a lighter weight and actually feel like better muscle contraction than just try to go heavy and just huck the bar up and down. So that's where I'm at today. We're going to do 4 sets here, so I have 3 more. A little resty rest now. What's your current biggest goal? Well, it would be competing at Olympia. Because we've been in prep since about mid-May, April, I can't even remember. I would say I've spent majority of the year prepping for this year's Olympia, so that's obviously the biggest goal. And I've talked about this before on my channel, it's never results driven for me. So I know a lot of people come in being like, I wanna come first, I wanna be the best, I wanna be, you know, all that stuff. And I 100% believe that I have the capacity and the ability to be a top athlete at the Olympia. However, it's not where like my mindset goes. It's not where my motivation comes from. At the end of the day, I want to show up better than I did last year. And I truly believe that like where I am right now in comparison to where I was last year, I am looking like I'm more conditioned, which is really exciting to see. Just like all this months and months of hard work coming into fruition. Honestly, in terms of routine round, it's probably been like the hardest mentally for routine. Because again, as I said before, it's been like a lot of pressure. And I think like when I was practicing my routine before, one of my biggest goals this year was to obviously be proud of it. And I went for like 4 to 6 weeks just like not being proud of what I was doing. And so that was like a huge mental pit of disparity and sadness. So as long as I go out there and I've been practicing my routine the way I have been, I think I'll be really happy with the results. And like, honestly, because I've gone through that really down period, coming out on the other side now, my expectation is like 1, a little bit kinder to myself, but 2, I do really think that like, considering of where I was to where I will perform, I think I'll be proud of that regardless. So I think in terms of me showing up to Olympia, presenting a better package in the physique round and being proud of my routine, I think those are both gonna happen. And so I can't be anything more than like happy towards those goals. And like, that's the biggest thing that I'm working towards right now, is just to be happy with what I bring to the table at Olympia. Yeah, I felt that. That was heavier for sure. A little uglier rep-wise, but that's okay. Oh my God. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. It's just 3. Wow. All right, so next we're doing alternating single arm pull downs with DB rear delt flies or face pulls. I'll probably do face pulls because I feel like I can use a cable over there, which makes it a little bit more space conducive. And we are doing 4 sets of 5 to 10 pull downs each arm and then 15 face pulls. I want to increase weight each set. So by my 4th set, I should be only doing 5 to 6 reps. Yeah. A lot of Transparent Labs questions in here, actually. Someone asked, are you sponsored by Transparent Labs? Someone asked what my go-to non-stim is. Answered both those questions. Yes, I'm a Transparent Labs athlete. Non-stim right now, go-to flavor is orange. Which is your favorite gym for bodybuilding training? So we're at it right now. We're at Woo Fitness. This is a relatively new gym. It opened up like last January, which was like a blessing because the other really good gym in the area is Pure Muscle, but that's like an hour from me. This gym is about like 15, 20 minutes. So this has been great. It's one of the gyms that, like, as you guys see in my videos, is relatively empty. So I can get through my workouts really quickly. It has amazing equipment, Panada, like everything. Yeah, I feel like it's made a really big difference in my training compared to like say like a Good Life or an LA Fitness. It just has more variety. Plus it's just like, I can get focused in and just do all my workouts, So first set was 10 and a 5. Second set is gonna be 10 and 2 5, so a 20. So my third set will be a 20 and a 5. Fourth set will be a 20 and a 7.5 or a 10, depending on how it feels. All right, so we got 10, 10, 10, 30 kilograms each side, which is like really 60 pounds, which is really 120, which means it's freaking heavy. Ooh, that's significantly heavier, okay. Oh my God. Okay, 6. I also just spat everywhere too. I don't know if the camera caught that in 4K, but it was like pull. All right, next we're doing 4 to 5 sets, 10 to 15 reps each. Close grip lat pull down, easy bar bent over rows, but this time reverse grip. And then we're doing DB side lateral raises. So can't wait. This is also our last like weighted stuff because our last exercise is my absolute favorite. It's 10 to 20 handstand push-ups. So this is our last thing with like weights. This is also the world's highest lat pull down. I always have to stand on it. Parkour. This is gonna be heavy, not gonna lie. $10 to 15, so we did 12. Now you're gonna walk over and find some dumbbells. All right, so that was the heavy tricep at the end, and my energy is like almost zapped. So we are gonna take a little bit before we do my handstand push-ups. I'm gonna answer a couple questions, and then we'll get into the 10 to 20 handstand push-ups I have. Question, what do I do for a living? I do this for a living. I'm very fortunate that basically content creation is my main like job. Being a creator, which I absolutely love. I've been doing it now since probably 2021 as like a career, but I've been creating content since 2017. In addition to content, I also do online training. I have my app that you guys know about, as well as I do in-person and some online stuff here and there. But this is pretty much what I do. I get to work out and show my passion to you guys, and hopefully you guys like it, and you guys have created a life for me that I could have literally never dreamed of. So I'm really super thankful for that, and I'm glad I get to call content creation a big part of my life and my job. How do you prevent injuries? This is good. So you guys have seen in my vlogs before that I've seen my chiropractor, Dr. Dave, who's part of Bayview Chiropractic. And then I have my sports massage therapist, Dylan, from Mo Therapy. So those are my 2 main like preventative things. So especially during prep right now, I see them very constantly. So chiropractor every week and massage therapy every 3 to 4 weeks now, just a little bit more frequent, just to keep on top of everything. I'm very much someone who also sees people during the off season. So I think the most important in terms of injury prevention is doing all that pre-stuff. You don't want to get injured and then go get help. You want to make sure your body's working and operating in the best possible form, so that way you're not going to get injured and you will need to have someone to help you. So that's my advice, and that's what I prefer, is chiropractor and sports massage. And then of course I also do my own like warm-ups, mobility training, all that. And I probably hit a good stretch session at least 2 to 3 times a week. And then I always do a warm-up and cool down pre and post workout. One more question before I get into my handstand push-ups. Would you ever visit Las Vegas? I'm visiting Las Vegas in October. So I will be in Las Vegas October 9th to the 8th to the 15th. The 8th to the 11th, I will be no comunicado. I will be just focused on Olympia. After that, after Olympia, regardless of the results, regardless how everything goes, I'm going to enjoy the time. I have a bunch of friends coming out with me, which I'm super thankful for. So we're all gonna stay in Las Vegas for a couple days, have fun, eat good food, celebrate, and just kind of like explore the city. So that is when you can see me in Las Vegas, is basically from the 12th onwards if you're in and around the city. So We'll get into these handstand push-ups. We're gonna try to do as many as I can in a row. We are only gonna go top of head to floor. We're not gonna go full face to floor because I'm doing more of a pump versus strength. So let's see how many we can get. My guess, I'm gonna say right now, my tired level, energy level, I will be happy if I get 8 in a row. I'm gonna take off my shoes, even though they basically weigh nothing. Here we go. A slightly wider grip to make it a little easier on myself. Always had a way to make it work and find another route. Always had a way to make it work and find another route. Always had a way to make it work and find another route. 10.5. That's pretty good. Give myself a little rest. It's 10 to 20, so if I could break this next set up into 5 and 5, I will be happy with that. Because too, I don't know if you guys know, but I have a little bit of wrist problems. I don't really want to push it too much, like if it's starting to bother me, so I'll probably only do 5 and 5 just to kind of save myself, because we need this wrist for the next 2 months at least. After that, the wrist can go away, but for the next 2 months, we need it. Oh, these are sloppy. 3. Okay, 3.5. I don't know what I was doing. I was doing like a way harder variation than I needed to be doing. I kind of like halfway forgot that I was only going to top of head and I started trying to go for forehead. Silly. So we're at 13, 7 more. Oh, that was so ugly. I don't know what that was. Where'd you go? You're over here. Okay, we'll call that 6. I have 2 more. I won't cheat that last. That last one was so hideous. I don't know what I was even doing. Trying to survive is what I was trying to do. Okay, 2 more. Okay, if we're only doing 2, I'll do like proper. Oh, all right, that's the workout. That's my shoulder and back day. Primarily it was back with a little bit of rear delts and then obviously endurance for the shoulders, but that's typically what one of my days looks like. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time.